told once or twice already tonight, the greatest night in Newcastle's history, they're saying. I dare say some old-timers close to the great traditions of this wonderful old club might feel that's overcooking it a bit, but this truly is a tough night for Kenny Dalglish's men. Newcastle changes from Saturday's defeat here by Wimbledon. They must certainly put that firmly behind them. The Italian defender Alessandro Bastoni is out with tonsillitis. Probably Steve Watson and Philip Albert at the centre of the defence. David Batty, who comes back after suspension to reinforce the midfield. Just his sort of night, really. John Barnes, Keith Gillespie and Robert Lee around him, and the Dane John Dahl Thomason and Tino Asprilla searching for the goals up front, and particularly Asprilla. Barcelona, meantime, a glittering array of talent from Spain, Portugal, Holland, Nigeria and notably Brazil. Nadal is their central figure in defence and De La Peña their principal playmaker, both Spaniards. The Portuguese Figo will operate down the right, the explosive Nigerian Amanico down the left, and then watch out for those Brazilians, Sonny Anderson and Rivaldo. £31 million for the two of them. Whole array of substitutes here as well. Ketspire among them for Newcastle, and Ian Rush, of course, and the brilliant Frenchman Christophe Dugarry in the Barcelona subs list, and also Pizzi, who's a prolific goal scorer too. Great strength there. Referee tonight comes from Italy, 37-year-old Pierluigi Collina. And I suppose when you consider the vast amounts of money that's sloshing around football these days, it may be as appropriate that he's a financial advisor. He comes from Viareggio. Well, Tino Asprilla. Barcelona fear him. He might just have that little bit of magic that might overturn them tonight. There's Rivaldo, £16 million from Deportivo La Coruña. And Sonny Anderson, his partner there up front, formerly with Monaco, helped to beat Newcastle, in fact, in the UEFA Cup last season. And not forgetting John Barnes. 10 years at Liverpool. I must say, we thought he was going to be working with us for ITV tonight, but he's got rather more work on his hands out there against Barcelona. And we're ready to go. Newcastle in the stripes, of course. Barcelona, the squad, they say, is worth £400 million. 31 million spent on two strikers alone. Famed international players who can't get into the team. A stadium at home that seats 120,000. And they're all here tonight, these Barcelona people, seeking a really good start in the Champions League. There's Asprilla, knocking it back. John Barnes coming in again. Asprilla, good challenge though by Nadal. Asprilla whips it back from him again. That sprightly step of his. Crowd like that. Referee's given a free kick. And Asprilla might well be in the mood tonight. Now, can they get something early here? Beresford playing it in. And Barcelona get it away. De La Peña, the playmaker. And they need to watch out Newcastle, because they are absolutely killing on the break. Little Sergi, the fullback, whipping in the cross, and a first touch there, and a comfortable one for Shea Given in the Newcastle goal. Barnes. The pace will be frenetic, and it'll be people like Barnes that will just need to calm it down a bit, but he's caught in possession there. Rivaldo, the brilliant Brazilian. Out to Amanico, the Nigerian. This is Sergi. Love to sweep the play from one side to the other. Number 21, Luis Enrique. Cross coming in. Albert in a bit of trouble here. But Newcastle get it away. And then carried it too long, but he was maybe a little lucky to get himself a free kick. Ron Atkinson, early thoughts?
Yes, I think you see by the way they've set out that Barcelona have come not to defend. All right, they'll defend if they have to, but twice they've caught Albert there, and they caught Barnes earlier in possession, high up the park. They're going to flood people forward, and they're going to try and pass the ball around a lot. They are, and Van Gaal plays that way. They're a positive side anyway by nature, and Van Gaal plays that way. He likes his team to. He doesn't care whether they're playing home or away. They play the same way.
Absolutely right. Watson playing it forward. He did that all the while he was at Van Gaal, all the time he was at Ajax. 11 titles, including the UEFA Cup. There he is on the left, making copious notes already. The UEFA Cup and the Champions Cup amongst the 11 titles that he won in 6 years at Ajax of Amsterdam. So that is Sergio.
I think when
Reisiger getting it wide to Figo. Sorry, Ron.
I was just going to say, I think when Barcelona have it in this sort of position, it's important that Newcastle just stay in their shape and don't chase the ball. They'll have to accept the fact tonight there's going to be long periods of the game where Barcelona will just pop the ball about. It's important they don't get dragged all over the place.
And Saladi's on the ball now, hitting it long towards Sonny Anderson. Newcastle throw. Barcelona with a brilliant start to the season. 3 matches played in the Spanish league. They've won all 3, leading the table by 2 points from Real Madrid, amongst others. And this, of course, on the back of winning the Cup Winners' Cup last year and the Spanish Cup. And they finished second in the Spanish league. That's why they're in this competition. But even with all that success, it wasn't enough to keep Bobby Robson's job. He moved upstairs, and as we've said, Louis van Gaal is now in charge of team operations here in Barcelona. Nadal to Salades. Figo, Portuguese, the captain of the side tonight. Luis Enrique, brilliant young playmaker here. De La Peña, still only 21, De La Peña. Amanica. To Nadal, played into Reisiger on this side, another former Ajax player. Cut out well by Steve Watson. Batty. Beresford. Valdo right over on the far side.
I think it will be very hard to sort of define where the Barcelona players will play. I think it's a safe bet. Amanica will work up and down the left-hand side, and Sergi will as well. But they've got a lot of players. You've just mentioned one there, Rivaldo. I think Luis Enrique the same. And Figo. They'll just float all over the pitch.
Albert to Robert Lee. Haven't seen much of him so far in these frenetic opening minutes. Steve Watson. Esprilla. Barnes. On in the break here now. Thomason. Just wide. Well, the little Dane nearly made something there, and it was a wonderful move by Newcastle. And it split them wide open and gave him a really excellent chance.
Well, a brilliant move between the two experienced players in there. Barnes links up brilliantly with Esprilla. To be fair to Thomason, he's missed an absolute gift there. He splits the defence, Barnes, reverses the pass, the run's right, all right, defender closing, still should have scored. At this level, you expect those can be the difference between going through at the end of the competition or not. But great movement. And as we saw these play Deportivo at the weekend, Barcelona, and they didn't look invincible at the back.
Nadal playing it for number 17, Albert Salades. Let's just hope that's a chance that Newcastle won't rule later in this competition. Fouled by Batty, or a yellow card. Well, we know for a fact that the referee has got a reputation of standing no nonsense. The players everywhere on this field now know.
Well, he signalled his intent there, the referee, because that looked very innocuous.
Well, it's a free kick to Barcelona. Dangerous situation. Luis Enrique's right in there amongst them. And Sonny Anderson took the deflection, and Shea Given just prevents it going for the corner. Newcastle, who beat Croatia Zagreb in the preliminary round. Batty again. Esprilla. Lee. Batty. Down the line. Towards Gillespie. Picked up by Robert Lee. But then given away, and the flag was up for an offside in any case. The referee allowing the play to go on. De La Peña now for Barcelona. Anderson. Nadal. Rivaldo brought down. Foul by Watson. And Rivaldo himself, again, this sweeping ball to the far side. Met that time, though, by Beresford. He's a big man, Rivaldo. 11 caps for Brazil. £16 million when they bought him from Deportivo La Coruña.
And he takes up that little loose position just behind the front, which is sometimes very difficult to mark. I mean, probably the only one in the Newcastle side capable of dealing with him is Batty, and Batty's kind of very quiet in other areas of the field.
Barnes.
You know, I think a very important players for Newcastle tonight, Gillespie and Beresford. I think they're men that have got to get out. I can't see Barton getting out much. I think he'll be involved more or less as a third central defender, if you like.
I think they'll be too worried about this man on the ball as well, Amanika, and his explosive pace to let Barton come too far forward when you're right. Salades. Up towards Sonny Anderson. A lovely little flick on by him. Rivaldo almost able to pick it up, but he was very well policed by Watson. Newcastle put on a really impoverished display on Saturday against Wimbledon, who came here in their usual way, fearing nobody, taking the chances that came, playing good functional football, and Newcastle just couldn't match it. And they've got plenty to match here tonight. Asprey, I think, it's 51 games. This is his 51st for Newcastle. He scored 15 goals in that time. He's being watched by Nadal. Nadal, who quite unfairly is named the beast of Barcelona. In fact, he's a good, strong player, but he had only 2 yellow cards last season. He's a tough man, but I wouldn't say he was beastly. Given that. Albert, Belgium. Watson trying to get it forward towards Gillespie, who wanted it, but it's played longer towards Warren Barton, and little surges there. De La Peña, neat. Barton got in quickly. Then Perez would pick it up on the far side. Figo, the Portuguese. Reisiger. Star player Reisiger at right back, formerly of Ajax, the Dutch national side. This is Figo, and now De La Peña. Amanico in space, tries to cut inside Gillespie, and Gillespie did well. Rivaldo. Crowd are giving Newcastle fantastic support. Rarely have I encountered atmosphere like this in even all the top European games. Asprilla. Away goes Gillespie. Thomason's waiting in the middle. Asprilla's trying hard to get up there as well. Little Thomason's there. There's a chance. No, his first little touch let him down. His pass let him down as well. Asprilla couldn't get anything going at all. And again, sad to say that Thomason, the young Dane, was found wanting when the chance was there. Barnes getting in quickly as Luis Enrique tried to get things stirred up for Barcelona. Batty. Thomason. Fairness to the young lad, he's made 2 mistakes, but he's not hiding. He's showing as much as he can. He was showing again there, but the ball finds Robert Lee instead. Batty. Asprilla. Now De La Peña. Nadal.
You have to say, though, don't you, at this level, he's had 2 golden opportunities. I mean, the defender slips in front of him. He's got all the time in the world. His control was bad, and even when he had a secondary chance of it, his layoff was poor. And it's hard to be critical. He's only a young lad, but he's at this level, when you have those sort of opportunities, you've got to produce.
He was top scorer in Holland last season. Dane. Cost £2.2 million. Here's the massacre.
I just wonder how much of those 2 opportunities may have been nerves, you know.
It could be. In this atmosphere, you could forgive almost anything. Played forward again. Sonny Anderson trying to get in, but Philip Albert had that nicely covered. Barton, not a particularly good header. Figo. And a free kick given to Barcelona. What was that for, Ron?
Looked like feet up, actually. Yeah.
Well, whatever. It creates a dangerous situation here for Newcastle United.
Once again, I thought it looked innocuous. I think the referee's going to come under a lot of scrutiny, particularly after that early booking of Batty.
Well, behind this free kick are Rivaldo and De La Peña. Dominica's in there. Luis Enrique's gone forward. Sonny Anderson's on the far side. Brazilian and a Spaniard over this ball. It's a Spaniard, De La Peña, but it wasn't a good one. Hit straight into the wall. Brassica, Nadal. Sergi suddenly popping up on the far side. I had to look twice. I thought he controlled only his left-hand flank, but suddenly there he was popping up over on the far side. And here's Rivaldo on the left flank. De La Peña. Luis Enrique. Figo on the far side. Rivaldo. Sergi. Dominico. Poor cross. Batty getting it away towards Asprilla. Oh, he had his shirt pulled there by Nadal, but he beat both Nadal and De La Peña and encourages Beresford to come forward. Barnes. Albert. Oh, the ball is on now for Robin Lee. That's allowed as the young sweeper, or the young defender, came in and made a good interception there.
Another golden opportunity, though. Good spotter's badge there from Albert. Takes it on, suggesting he may have handballed it, but his control didn't quite live up to it.
Albert jockeying about here, they're looking for the big man. And there is Philip Albert. But it was Anderson who took it off his toe. Warren Barton this time.
Well, if Newcastle want any more sort of confirmation about being patient, every time they've attacked positively about 3 times, and each time possibly could have had a goal.
They've had 2 golden chances.
Oh yes,
and 1 half chance.
Yeah. And for all their possession, and they have played well in possession, Barcelona, they really haven't made anything happen. So it's important. It's important that Newcastle just keep the other end sewn up. It's offside.
That's still offside. Dalglish knows what an enormous task it is for Newcastle tonight, particularly with the new formation in the Champions Cup. Rivaldo there, and Warren Barton just getting in. 6 groups of 4 teams in the league this year. The winners only of each group go through to the quarterfinals, plus the 2 best runners-up. So really to be sure of a place in the quarterfinal, this time you have to win your league. De La Peña. Rivaldo. Batty. And Barton gets it clear. Too high? No, not too high for a speed, but he couldn't control it. But he's giving it everything. But it when you think that the other two sides in this group of four are Dynamo Kiev, the champions of Ukraine, and PSV Eindhoven, the champions of Holland. You have to say Newcastle need to win their home games, certainly, to give themselves a chance of qualifying for that quarter-final place. And the next two games in this Champions League, of course, away to Dynamo Kiev and then away to Eindhoven. So absolutely vital they get away to a winning start here. Rivaldo to Amanika. Sergei. Nadal. Well, it's not for the want of support from their amazing crowd tonight. De La Peña. Sergei. Amanika. And the Barcelona lads are used to big crowds, used to a lot of noise in the Nou Camp. Rivaldo again, looking for something new, this time finding De La Peña. Luis Enrique. Figo's made a good run. They crowded him out in the end, and the ball is given away. And there's Asprilla, and the counter-attack can come from Newcastle now. And it's Tino Asprilla. Can he get past the last man? He can. He goes down, but the referee had a look at it. And the play goes on.
Yeah, great defending there from Nadal. At the end, at one stage, it looks as if he was going to foul Asprilla.
This is the moment. Played the ball. Rivaldo. Sergei. De La Peña. Sonny Anderson. Rivaldo. Back to Sergei. Can't hear yourself thinking this noise. It's phenomenal. For all that, I hope you're enjoying it at home. It's a truly great night up here in the northeast. Still 0-0. Barcelona playing patience at the moment and looking for the ball. It finds Figo, now De La Peña. Amanito won't collect that one. Gillespie does instead. He in turn hits it long, looking for Asprilla. But two Barcelona defenders block the way.
I can appreciate them trying to hit Asprilla quite early because he's shown that he's got the taking of the defenders. But I think you've got to hit them with a lot more quality than that. You can't just throw the ball away.
Sergei Taraisaka.
Because this is what happens to you. They build up again. And there's a lot of movement coming from the front players and the midfield players.
Lee. Thomason. Asprilla's made a dash. Can he get there first? What's he giving? He's given a penalty for Newcastle. A foul on Asprilla, and a great opportunity now for Newcastle. The Italian referee ran straight for the spot, pointed to it. That's the incident. The keeper on Asprilla. Agree on.
Oh, I tell you what, it looks very much as if he's dived past him. Look, it looks as if he's run into his body there. I think that's very much, mind you, the referee, it's in keeping where the referee's refereed. I think he started off very finicky and whatever. And
well, the man who won the penalty is now going to take it. Tino a little more. The ball wasn't properly on the spot. Tino Asprilla against Ruud Hess.
There's this little bit of gamesmanship, a little bit of cat and mouse. Keeper's moving. Keeper's got a big hand on it, but fortunately for Newcastle and Asprilla, it's gone right where he wanted it to.
What a vital kick, and what a vital moment. De La Peña to big Nadal. He missed a penalty, of course, in Euro 96. David Seaman saved it. Reisiger, Celades, almost caught in possession. Reisiger getting it forward again. Beresford backtracking, does it well. Barnes to Beresford. Good play by Newcastle. Batty getting it forward. Thomason. Lee's made a terrific break through the middle. Oh, a slight miskick there by Nadal. And Nadal gets it just when it looked as though Asprilla might take it. Gillespie. Martin gets it back to Shea Given. Offside against Asprilla. No signs of concern yet on the Barcelona bench. Reisiger. Luis Enrique. Bringing Sergi into it. Rivaldo's and Anderson waiting in the centre. Being crowded out by Newcastle.
I think it's quite sensible in Newcastle when they are coming out to stay fairly compact and not give too much space at the back of themselves. I wouldn't like to see Anderson get a run at any of the defenders.
Thomason. Almost gets it back again. You're quite right to pay tribute to Thomason's ball for Asprilla that led to the penalty. Sergi down to Anderson. Well watched by Watson and well beaten by Watson. And Newcastle are really rising to this task. Batty. Albert. Hit long.
I mean, they're actually playing like the away side. We talk about the home support, but Newcastle are playing very much in the traditional continental away leg fashion, aren't they? They're sitting deep, they're staying compact, they're getting plenty of people behind the ball, and then just playing off the centre forward Asprilla, who looks to have the beating of the defence most times.
Amanika. Sergi. De La Peña, a little bit deeper tonight. Now he's coming forward, La Peña. Figo. Luis Enrique on the far side. A bit of space. Into Rivaldo. Stopped by Barnes. Their nerve is holding well. As Philip Albert gets it forward. Yes, Asprilla was being held by Salades, or rather Nadal.
As he showed against Croatia, though, in the last round, he's a great outman. He's a great target man playing this way. He hangs on to the ball. A lot of the things stick with him.
Albert. Watson. Barton down the flank. Lee. Watson tried to get it back to Lee. De La Peña almost arrogantly plays the ball through to Sergi. De La Peña again. This time to Luis Enrique. It's invigorating stuff, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fascinating as well. I mean, you're seeing a team playing a lot of one-touch possession football, and you're seeing a team who aren't so experienced in the European way. At the moment, dealing with them brilliantly, I think.
Sergi into Figo. Reisiger. De La Peña. Wide to the Nigerian Amanika. Haven't seen anything much of him yet. Sergi again. Compact little player at left back. Salades. Luis Enrique. Figo's gone on ahead of him. Sonny Anderson's in there too. Rivaldo also. Here's De La Peña looking to open up the way. Flicks it there through to Rivaldo onto the left foot. Cannons off Steve Watson. Comes to John Barnes. Lee gets it forward. Barnes. Gillespie. Back it goes to Ruud Hesp, the 31-year-old Dutch goalkeeper. Finds a fellow Dutchman, Michael Reisiger. Figo. Rivaldo. Sergei Amaniko beginning to spray it around a bit now. Barcelona, long cross there. Figo coming towards it, chested down very confidently indeed by Beresford. Beresford gets it back. Watson. Albert. It's one of those nights, you know, Ron, where their concentration has got to be 100% for 90 minutes, hasn't it?
Oh, very much so.
If it slips for a second, they'll be punished.
And one of the good things they've done defensively as a defensive unit, and that includes the midfield players, they've made Barcelona go wide in the last third. They haven't at the moment allowed Barcelona any sort of look at nudging balls through them. I feel Barcelona would be ever so dangerous if they could just poke balls between Albert and Watson, but they've prevented that at the moment. They've made them go wide and then put a lot of bodies in the box.
Barnes doing well twice there. Oh, that's a foul by De La Peña, and he threw himself to the ground, claiming, I think, that he'd been elbowed by Robert Lee, but he was clearly pulling at Lee there, and Lee might just have grabbed him, might just have slapped him, but it was nothing worse than that. And the referee just waiting for De La Peña to come up and say, a yellow card for you, pal.
Too right as well.
Absolutely right.
I mean, to be fair, Lee wants to be a bit careful. You can understand his frustration. He got a nice break on there. He got the other side of their midfield, and he was running at the back people.
And no punishment for Lee.
No.
Free kick for Newcastle. Could be punishment for Barcelona. Let's see. Watson. Sprea's up there. Just played it wide for Keith Gillespie. Can he get past Sergei? He can. He's good. And cross in. It's another one. It's Asprilla again. It's 2-0. They celebrate at Newcastle. An unbelievable situation.
That is an absolute picture goal, isn't it? That's the first time. Magnificent. This is great, though. That's it. Drop your shoulder. Sling it in.
Look at that lead. Whoa. 2-0. Both to Asprilla. Now, Amaniko for Barcelona. How are they going to react to this? Crossed in towards Sonny Anderson. Important that they concede nothing now. Rivaldo well wide. Goal kick. Important moments these. It's very important that Newcastle keep their concentration, their discipline together, get their tackles in and concede nothing in these next few minutes. 32 gone, 2-0 up. They could only have dreamt with this. Robert Lee, Gillespie, architect of that super goal from Asprilla. Robert Lee again battling with De La Peña. And another foul by De La Peña Sergei to calm down. That's the last thing that Barcelona want now. 2 down is to lose 1 man. So another free kick. This time Beresford. So he's going to swing that in towards the Barcelona goal. Barnes is up there. Asprilla's in there. Watson's in there. Albert's up there from the back. It's a very, very deep one and not a good one. Well, what do you make of this then?
I think it's an excellent performance. They haven't. You say they've ridden the luck. They haven't had anything against them. You know, they haven't created a chance really. But this will encourage Gillespie. I was wondering when he was going to start having a go as an attacking force, and that's the perfect ball in. And that'll encourage him now. I thought Gillespie looked a bit inhibited.
I tell you, not many people leave Sergei for dead.
No, there's a possibility. For a left-back, though, he's a very right-footed player, very right-sided player. And I think that'll, as I say, I think that'll encourage Gillespie. He's been just dropping the ball off and trying to knock it forward. But that's his
But
strength running at people.
This man, Asprilla.
Oh, phenomenal, phenomenal, brilliant. Something about European matches seem to really bring out this big adrenaline in him.
De La Peña. Batty brought down, free kick to Newcastle. And I think Rivaldo's taken a knock. But he's got to go on. There's work to be done in defence for Barcelona. Tino Asprilla on the ball again, sending it wide to Gillespie. Couldn't quite gather it up.
I tell you what, the ball might have been long, but the little bit of footwork that he produced in Asprilla just before he delivered it, just before that, it was brilliant. Little double foot job.
Rivaldo wins it in the air, but he's struggling. Reisiger. Luis Enrique. Oh, given away badly, and Thomason very nearly found Asprilla with it. Nadal. Not reaching Figo. Batty, calmly, Beresford. Good play by Barnes. Crowd loving this. Watson. Warren Barton. Putting it long, encouraging Thomason to run for it, but Saladis gets it clear. Still in play. Saladis again. De La Peña. Luis Enrique. Figo. Good challenge. A great challenge there by Beresford. A terrific bit of defending. And here come Newcastle again. Thomason playing it wide. Or rather, Batty that time. Barton. Albert. Thomason. Thomason. Beresford, Thomason. Batty hustling. Really hustling, but Rivaldo knew what he wanted, and he got it. De La Peña. They'll really look to him now to open things up. And he's found... they look for Luis Enrique through there, and Figo, and they get a free kick. Won by Luis Enrique. And Ronaldo. So the Brazilian Rivaldo looks to restore something for Barcelona with this free kick. 20 in the wall. Given very animated behind it. Cannon's off the wall and goes for the corner. 7 minutes to go to half-time now. Eight minutes to go. Here's the corner. Filled in. Rivaldo tried to get the little flick on. Nadal. Will they get it away? And how? Albert. And the chase is on again. And Lee was leading it. And there might be possibilities here. Gillespie on the far side now. The cross coming in for Robert Lee. I thought Lee was going to be there for that header, but Saladis just got it away ahead of him. One into the other at the moment. Rivaldo now. Amanica. De La Peña. Rivaldo tries the turn. Luis Enrique gets it back again, but only plays it straight to Tino Asprilla. Nadal. In comes Batty. Here's Barnes. Oh, great ball. And a good run by Batty. And Beresford's gone steaming along outside him as well. Back to Batty. Into Asprilla. Great little run there by Gillespie. In the end, it came to nothing. Sergi. Amanika. De La Peña. The Nigerian. Amanika again. Riesiger. They've pulled Riesiger more into a central defensive position, Ron.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't really detailed somebody, although it's probably not Van Gaal's way, detailed somebody to go 1-for-1 with Asprilla. And he's the outball. They're keeping 3 or 4 back against him.
De La Peña. Oh, he's hit a great ball here to Amanika. Sonny Anderson's in the middle. Rivaldo's in the middle. And the ball just went across the line for the corner. Given disputes it. Luis Enrique wants it. Barcelona get a corner. Last 5 minutes coming up of the first half now. Asprilla's 2 goals give Newcastle the advantage, which they'll be desperate to keep through the half-time whistle. Figo, he's got to the line with a little crosses in there. There's some very good defending by Warren Barton there. Gillespie will have the opportunity of getting it away, finds Asprilla. De La Peña. Luis Enrique on this side of the field now. So is Riesiger. De La Peña.
That's the thing they mustn't allow. They've done very, very well at the moment, Newcastle, in preventing that. They mustn't allow De La Peña to poke balls through them and give the front players a chance to get shots on target.
Goes Gillespie, wins it in the air, finds Asprilla. Asprilla goes in with a challenge there on Sergi. Looked fairly innocuous to me. Sergi looks as though he's in real trouble though.
No, it's a fair enough challenge.
Yep.
I'm surprised the referee, I suppose it's a natural thing, I suppose the referee's given the decision against him.
Sergi's on his feet. Tough little warrior. Riesiger gets it to the Portuguese Figo. Riesiger again. The crowd thought he was playing a bit of the old soldier. But he's still struggling a bit, to be fair. Saladi's pumping it forward towards Sonny Anderson. The break is on again now. Again, a good challenge and a swift one by Steve Watson.
He really didn't fancy it over much. And that's the first time in a wide area they've actually been at the back of Newcastle's defence. They've played the ball wide, but they've played it wide too early.
Asprilla, delightful touch beating Nadal. He's got Salades as well, still with Asprilla. Barnes supporting him, Batty supporting him. Barnes flicking it through, Thomason. Barnes again. Robert Lee's in there. Now, Gillespie. Can he get the better of Amanika this time? Whips the cross in. Well, Robert Lee wasn't far off.
And that's excellent. He's drawn encouragement from the goal he's created. He's got the ball in, and as you say, Robert Lee, unfortunately, just missed his target. But I tell you what, every time the ball is pinged into Asprilla, the way he accepts it and turns it, he's turning whoever he's against, Reitzinger, Nadal or Salades. They're having a nightmare against him.
Sergei having some running repairs here. It's Sonny Anderson on the field. Held up by Batty's challenge. Just his sort of night, this David Batty. Nadal. Sergei's back on the field again now. There's Anderson. Oh, he's got away for a moment, but he's surrounded by shirts. Black and white shirts. Figo, De La Peña. Sergei just back on the field, has made the little break. Rivaldo and Sonny Anderson are waiting in there. Rivaldo! And well, he got ahead to it. And Anderson came flying in with the slightest touch from him, and that might have finished up in the back of Newcastle's net.
Yeah, that's the closest they've come to scoring tonight.
Actually, when you think of it, Shea Given has not really had a serious shot to save.
That's the only attempt in my book. They've had a couple of shots that have flown wide. That was the only one your heart sort of went, possibly that might be a goal.
Asprilla.
He's electric, this fella.
He is.
They do not know he's overrun it that time. The defenders don't know how to deal with it. He's got pace, but he's got a magic touch with it as well.
See, the first 45 minutes are now up. Luis Enrique. And I think anybody here in this big crowd at St James's Park will not forget this 45 minutes for a long, long time. Brilliant performance by Newcastle United, and two wonderful goals from Tino Asprilla, the nerveless player who scored from the penalty spot here, and then rose superbly to take Gillespie's cross to make it Newcastle United 2, Barcelona 0, and that's the situation here, doing cartwheels at St James's Park. Join us as you see the substitution being made by Barcelona. Dragan Siric, Yugoslav, formerly with Partizan, comes on in place of the Nigerian Amanika. Now he's taken up a position on the right flank, and Figo's gone to the left where Amanika was. And here is Siric into the action straight away.
Yeah, I think it's a change in personnel, but I think the tactics will remain the same. Two wide players trying to stretch the game right against the touchline. Figo, to be fair, can play an awful lot on the left-hand side. He was disappointed. Amaniki was very disappointing in the first half, but Figo wasn't much better.
But Figo's a good goal scorer. He's always likely to pop one, and he won the Spanish Cup for them in the final last season. Portuguese.
Yeah, and I can remember a game in Dublin a few years ago. He was absolutely phenomenal against the Republic.
Way back, and Shea Given gets it away. From that time by Thomason, gets it back again. Siric, Sergei to Figo. They'll want to get something now fairly quickly in the second half to restore their hopes and their spirit. Luis Enrique hugging this right touchline again. Rivaldo. Oh, that went a long way through, and Shea Given was nicely behind it. Early test for him in the second half.
When Rivaldo's hit this one, and it's fortunate for the goalkeeper, he hasn't taken a touch off anybody. In those sort of situations, you can easily get a slight deflection.
Riesiger with the throw. Luis Enrique. Back it goes to Nadal. Serrades. Figo. This time there was a crunching challenge by Warren Barton, I think it was. It's a free kick to Benfica. De La Peña. Siric. Been lively early on. Luis Enrique. And as far as David Batty, Beresford, Barnes just knocking it forward. Batty, now there's some space for Asprilla. A long way to go, and look who's come back to battle with him, Rivaldo. Asprilla taking a bit of a tumble there. De La Peña finding Salades. And then Figo on the far side. De La Peña. Oh, that's a lovely ball, Rivaldo. And terrific tackling there. Good defending by Philip Albert. Exactly the same formula for the second goal. Keith Gillespie. There's the cross. There's Asprilla. And there's the goal. 3-0.
Great carbon copy. Look at the defenders ball watching here, Brian. Look at them. They've allowed him. There's one man in the box that's likely to get the header on it, and he's never picked up. This will show a great view. Magnificent play by Gillespie. Go on, knock it out of your feet. He knows he's got the beating of Sergi. Good ball into the danger zone. There's the man in between two defenders. No problem.
What about that for a scoreline? Newcastle 3, all of them to Tino Asprilla. FC Barcelona 0.
I think that highlights the point that Glenn Hoddle was making, you know, about the new coach with his new ideas. He's playing three defenders. Nobody else seems to have a defensive responsibility, and yet the three at the back aren't sorted out at all.
Challenge by Gillespie against Sergi. Lee getting back. Good play with Watson. Good work as Barton brings it forward. They're rampant again. And there's Gillespie wanting it at his feet and getting it at his feet. And Asprilla's waiting in the middle again. Asprilla! Oh, my goodness, it needed a great save from Head.
He's loving it. Look at that fly away. Sticks it in nice. Asprilla dives at the near post that side, and that's one of his. That's a great header.
Louis van Gaal said before the game, the one man I fear was Asprilla. He was absolutely right. Now there's a whistle gone. Free kick to Newcastle. Just loving it as we see this Asprilla goal again. What a nick! His 51st game and now his 18th goal since he was brought here by Kevin Keegan from Parma. And there were some then who said, hey, was it £6 million? That's too much to spend for him. He's a temperamental character and so on. Well, there aren't many of those who'll be saying that tonight. A fantastic performance by Tino Asprilla. Here at Barcelona again, a little flick on by them. Anderson's in there, and Beresford does well. Sergi will take the corner, and Barcelona now desperate for something to get them back in this game. Nadal coming up from the back. Luis Enrique at the near post. Anderson, Rivaldo there too. There's Sergi's corner coming in. And knocked over by Robert Lee. Away the lads. And that was easy.
You know, you're not going to take anything away from Newcastle tonight. They've been magnificent. But I think there's one or two reputations on the other side that have taken a dent tonight. I mean, they have underachieved tonight, haven't they?
So far. Nadal. Siric. Rivaldo. In the end, they conceded a free kick, Newcastle. Rivaldo will take it. De La Peña's also there with him. It's about 28 yards out. Shea Given looking for, once he's lined the wall up, for a good side of the ball. Might this be Rivaldo this time? Or De La Peña? It's Rivaldo. Just over. Not much to spare.
You know, you watch Given here, you always feel he gives the man taking the kick an awful lot to go at on the other side. It's almost as if he's teasing him to go at the other side.
Luis Enrique, Barnes, got a steady old job in that central position, John Barnes, tonight. What a strange game it is when John Barnes was shown the door at Liverpool. I could never for a moment have thought that his next big occasion would probably be against Barcelona in such circumstances as this. Figo twisting and turning, looking for a yard, finding little Sergei there. Oh, and the first mistake really there, deep in the Newcastle defence, but quickly covered up by Shea Given. Nadal, we have Reisiger, Asprilla, Luis Enrique, Reisiger, and now Nadal. Celades. Figo. Barton couldn't quite stop the cross coming in, but Beresford's going to make life difficult for Rivaldo. But there's a better space here now for Ciric. And it deflected off John Barnes behind for the corner. And another substitution. They're taking off Sonny Anderson and bringing on the Frenchman Dugarry. So Anderson goes. £12.5 million from Monaco. And Christophe Dugarry, the Frenchman, is on. It's a long cross, and it's safely held by Given. Throw out just a little too ambitious, but it'll be a throw to Newcastle. Dugarry, originally with Bordeaux, and then he had a very unsuccessful spell last season with Milan. And then Barcelona paid £3 million for him in the summer. Up goes Asprilla. But he let Nadal have that one. Luis Enrique. Ciric. Stopped by Batty. Thomason. Just kept in play, and it's going to be a Newcastle throw. Albert. It's important they don't get too cocky. It's important their discipline and their attention to detail stays at the highest level. 3-0 is good. If you start taking chances, that can very quickly become 3-1 or 3-2 against a side with strikers like these. Celades. Rivaldo. Thank goodness he's worked tonight, but he's lost there as David Batty takes it up with some help from Asprilla. Oh, what a great turn by Asprilla! Completely beat Reisiger. Still Asprilla, and gets his shot in. Wonderful stuff.
He is something else, isn't he?
What about that first turn?
Does a trick. Puts himself at a steep angle here, makes it hard, but still fancies his chances of scoring.
Free kick to Barcelona, just inside the Newcastle half. Luis Enrique with it. Sidic. Ooh, he's got it back again from Rivaldo. Figo on the far side. This looks a bit more dangerous. Gary was beaten away though by the jump of Philip Albert. Beresford. Thomason. Solari did his work well.
He'll be a relieved lad when he's Thomason with the scoreline as it is after those 2 early chances.
What I was saying after it, Ron, was that he showed his character. He kept showing for the ball. He wasn't for a moment trying to hide in this situation, was he?
Oh yes, he's done extremely. He's worked very, very hard, and you know he had the contribution of the little threaded ball that led to the penalty.
That's right.
I just wonder though if Kenny would consider bringing Ketspar on a bit now. You know he's very quick and
he's warming up now.
And you look at the defenders. You know they look very, very vulnerable when somebody goes at them.
Ketspar warming up, the Georgian. Beresford with the kick.
You know the tendency would be in a game like this at this stage would be to maybe throw an extra defender in and protect what you've got. But looking at Barcelona, they look as if they're better if you go at them.
Lee with the corner. Albert and Watson up. Thomason, Barnes, and you've guessed it, Asprilla in there too. It's Philip Albert with a header. But there was a foul and a free kick.
He was climbing. Philip Albert, he went up a good height, but he did get himself some leverage.
Barnes. Albert. Back to Shea Given. Gillespie's away on the far side. And they get a corner.
I tell you what, Keith Gillespie will draw from this. He's playing against one of the best fullbacks in the world, one of the most experienced, and he's absolutely tearing him apart.
Here's Barnes. Playing the little ball into Robert Lee. That time safely caught by Ruud Hesp.
He had to use all of his height then. He's an enormous goal. He had to use it all, and I thought Watson was in for another one.
Figo. Sergi. Luis Enrique. Back again. Luis Enrique charged down by Batty. Sidic getting it in. Banged away that time by Albert. Come for Barnes again, but Thomason was pushing. And more news from Pasici. After Rivaldo's shot is fisted away well. More news from Pasici. Manchester United now leading by 2-0. The second goal coming from Henning Berg. Bicycle. Sergi, a little delicate ball there, played to Rivaldo. Look how quickly those Newcastle defenders pounced on the Brazilian just outside the box there. There's Asprilla. Batty all given away. Careless. And conceding a free kick. There was a careless ball played there by David Batty, and it's now produced this free kick. Rivaldo, De La Peña, And Figo says, I might have a go at this as well. Who's it going to be? Looks like it's going to be Figo. It's floated in. Lee. Oh, lost it. Figo onto the right foot. And David Batty got his head in the way and put it behind for the corner. Just looking for a little bit of respite now at Newcastle. Sergei, who's been skinned once or twice tonight by Keith Gillespie, as we've seen, and given. Aspria. Oh, terrific touch. But sadly for him, there's another Barcelona player there. And Chilades gets it clear again. Some crisp challenging by Beresford on Sergei. Chilades with the throw. Again, it's Sergei. Luis Enrique. Figo tried to turn Barton, but Barton stuck to that job superbly. Conceded the corner. Just feel this is a slightly sticky period for Newcastle, but Barcelona looking much more adventurous and much more dangerous with it. Gillespie got that away. Siric. Plenty up there. That was charged down by Barton.
He's had a superb game defensively tonight, Barton. Not only in terms of blocking and stopping wide players coming at him, he's also tucked in when the play's been on the other side. He's tucked in as a third centre-back and he's cleaned one or two dangerous situations out, particularly in the first half.
And Newcastle just can't get the ball out of their own half at the moment.
No, it's one of those where, all right, every team gets its time, and they're having their time now, Barcelona. As you say, important they don't give anything away.
They're waiting for the big defender to get in there. Dugarry with a header.
As if they just hang on to it, Brown. They do know that, the leader of the line, Aspril's got the beating. Anything they get out to him, he'll beat their defence. And Gillespie on the other side, with his pace, they've always got that counter.
An injury there for the moment. Can't just see for the moment who that is.
The big man, it's Albert.
It's Philip Albert. Steve Watson got his head to that. Now this will come for Gillespie. Looking around for Aspria, who's there, but he's threaded a lovely ball through to Thomason and now to Aspria, but that was asking a little too much.
See, the great thing is when people like Gillespie are running forward, they're leaving their own midfield and their own defence miles behind. That should be an offside decision.
Offside against Dugarry on this side of the field.
What it means is people like Barton that can say, all right, we don't have to charge forward, we can sit in our defensive positions and we don't lose our shape.
Goes Aspria. And Van Gaal's side has had no answer to Supertino here tonight. Dugarry, though. Oh, that's threading a nice ball here for Siric. Go for it.
I'm surprised to see Siric play out in the wide area. I mean, basically, he's a player that likes to play behind the front players. And they've got Luis Enrique that can operate as a wide player. I just wonder whether Van Gaal would consider switching that. But he's very rigid in that he likes two men to pin against the line.
Aspria with a lovely leap. And Hefs gets it clear. Chilades. Up to Dugarry. Rivaldo, Luis Enrique, and now little Sergei. Figo. Right on the edge of the box. Brought down by Barton.
It's ironic there as well. Figo had lost possession. Batty was just coming to clean the ball out.
Newcastle need to be totally vigilant here. Ronaldo's waiting to poised to go in there and do something dangerous, but again Newcastle get it away. This time to Salades, Dugarry with a nice back heel. Sidic. Another corner. Taking an awful lot of pressure now, Newcastle. But they're defending with great determination and no little skill. Sergei going to the corner, waiting for Nadal to come forward. Nadal's now in place. Oh, great save by Given from Nadal. Nasty bouncing ball. It was on the up and he helped it over. There's another corner taken in this time, and Dugarry was right in there, but this time it's another corner. Newcastle under siege at the moment, defending this 3-goal lead. That's not such a good one. But it'll be another corner. So Sergei has another go. Fourth successive corner. Good save a moment ago by Given, though, the young Irishman. That wasn't a good corner, but it's come out as far as Salades. Robert Lee just prevented it going for the corner. They still can't get a breather. Sergei. Spain throw, Barcelona's throw, and the referee actually overruled the linesman. The linesman, Italian linesman, definitely ruled a Barcelona throw. So Beresford takes it. Albert. Batty. Out to Barton. Up to Watson again. Beresford. Barnes. Dugarry. Now comes Steve Watson. Now perhaps they can get forward at last. And who better to get the ball forward to than Asprilla. But Reisiger is full of speed. Terrific athlete. And here's Nadal. And now De La Peña. Been very muted so far in this second half. But he's threaded a lovely ball now for Sergei. But in the end, Sergei didn't really do anything worthwhile with it. And had he delayed for a moment, Luis Enrique had made a terrific run for him.
But I mean, that's the first time in over an hour's play, well over an hour's play, that they've actually penetrated past them. I think he's right as well. I think Shea Given did get a touch to that one.
This was the save from Nadal's shot.
Yeah, he hasn't quite caught it properly, but full marks to Shea Given. There's a lot of bodies in front of him, and he's done what he's asked to do.
Inside the last 20 minutes now. Newcastle leading 3-0. If you just joined us, it's a hat-trick for Tino Asprilla. A penalty and 2 flying headers. Try to play. You'll throw to Newcastle. We won't get a smile out of Kenny until it's over. Sidic. De La Peña, stopped by Watson. He's had a terrific game, well, they all have really.
I think you've said, Brian, it's been coming, the amount of pressure they've had. They've managed to nudge that ball back. That's a very clever ball by Figo. It looks as if he may have a shot, and Luis Enrique basically takes it across the line. But to be fair to Barcelona, the last 10 minutes or so, they have been turning up the heat a bit.
And the next 10 minutes are going to be absolutely vital. It's important that Newcastle defend well and try and get this ball more and more into this Barcelona half of the field to give the defence a little bit of respite. Free kick to Barcelona. It's a huge contest. And let me remind you of another huge contest coming up in a fortnight's time, a fortnight tonight. Manchester United against Juventus in the Champions League. That will also be live here on ITV. It's a fortnight tonight. Make a date for that one. De La Peña. Albert. Barnes right back helping out. Figo. Charged down by Lee. Luis Enrique knocking it wide but inaccurately. Sivic couldn't get a hold of it. Newcastle got a throw. Done that time by Thomason. Asprilla trying to make something of it. Thomason's in there too. No foul, said the referee. De La Peña tries to get there. It's challenged firmly by Gillespie. Nadal. Figo. Oh, that's a lovely turn again. And a great save by Shea Given from Rivaldo. Sergi. De La Peña. Batty up to Asprilla. Respite at last for that Newcastle defence. Thomason's made a little break for him. Asprilla surrounded by Barcelona players though, and in the end wins a free kick.
Nowhere else to go. He'd done all his tricks, so he decides he's not going to surrender the ball. We talked about how clever he was getting the penalty. I think he's just got himself a free kick there.
I get the feeling Barcelona feel they can get back into this game, you know.
I was watching there as he broke their spree, you know. Some of the Newcastle players were absolutely treading water trying to get up in support of him. Noticeable as well, Gillespie. They need some magic here from either Barnes or Asprilla here to give them some extra breathing space.
Italian referee making sure they're back full 10 yards. It's Asprilla, but it's too high. Asprilla. Another goal kick. Substitutions being made. Darren Peacock coming on. His first game of the season after a long spell with injury. He's coming off. Thomason. Yes, Thomason's coming off. So the forward's gone off. The defender's come on. And Newcastle are looking just to make sure they don't ship any more water. Great reception for Peacock, who's had real tough luck with injuries. Bolsters that defence a little bit more, doesn't it, Ron?
Yeah, it invites, what it does do, it invites Barcelona onto them a little bit more, well, even more so, but they've been virtually...
Here comes danger again. Sivic played inside. Rivaldo, a great save. But the flag was up. The flag was up in any case. but a terrific save nonetheless by Shea Given.
I mean, he set him up there. Rivaldo struck it fine, and a little deflection as well.
It was
on the
a
way.
deflection, yeah.
And that is, as you say, a very good save, albeit not necessary, but he didn't know that at the time.
But it also illustrates how Barcelona are up for it and believing that they can still save this game.
Oh yeah, no, as I think the tactical formation now is Kenny's once again said, right, we've got to hang on by hook or by crook. What he does do, he surrenders a lot of space to the Barcelona for wide defenders, if you like, to come forward and build pressure. I sometimes wonder, Brian, if you're better off saying, all right, we'll play one up the middle and stick 2 wide players to try and pin them back a little bit.
Asprilla trying to find Gillespie there. Gillespie just couldn't get to it. Sergei was still full of running and did. I think they're going to make another substitution in the moment. Ketspires coming on, talking about how full of running Sergei is. Well, he's made all that ground up there. Rivaldo. Could be problems here, and somehow Newcastle get away with it. Albert plays it straight to De La Peña, stabs the ball through there, and gives away a free kick right on the edge of the box. So there could be real big problems here for Newcastle now. A 3-0 lead has become 3-1. Now, will Rivaldo bring it back to 3-2? Warren Barton's at one post, 2, 4, 6 in the wall, and Rivaldo poised on just outside the 18-yard line with this crucial free kick for Barcelona. It's against the crossbar. Sergei. Cross coming in again. Dugarry tried to get on the end of it, and in the end, I think it was Beresford who got it away, hammered it away anyway, just to give them a breather.
But before the free kick, you had the cat and mouse with Barton and the forwards trying to play who's going to be offside, but they're going to stand on the line. And then this fellow lashed in a great shot.
Peacock gets that away. Asprilla back to help out. It's all hands to the pump now. Riesica. Asprilla. Barnes. Oh, a great ball by Barnes. Go on, get after that. But just look at Nadal, how quickly he got across. Substitution being made. And it's John Barnes who's coming off as we see the replay of the free kick by Rivaldo. Struck the Newcastle crossbar. Ketspire now. John Barnes has gone. Barnes has done a good job tonight. Ketspire is there with fresh legs. Gillespie couldn't get to that. Saladi's playing it wide again. Knocked on again for little Sergei. Played in quickly into that space behind the defenders. And all Beresford could do was to put it behind for the corner. It's been a terrific, to be fair, a terrific second-half performance by Barcelona. Going 3-0 down, but then finding the spirit to come back and get a goal back and to harass Newcastle the way they are. There's the cross coming in and knocked off the line by Batty. A free kick to Newcastle. Respite at last.
Oh yeah, they'll have restored an awful lot of their pride, because before they looked very, very ordinary. But you know, the last half hour of this, I mean, that's a good downward header. He thought he'd scored then, but Batty's there. That's why he's put on that station to make sure that that little glance doesn't go in.
Dugarry's header.
I think a lot of it's turned around since he actually came on. You know, Dugarry. Anderson was very disappointing, but Dugarry has put himself about a bit. He's shown himself to lead the line.
Ketspire with a header. Nadal gets it back to his keeper, Hesp. De La Peña. Albert concedes a free kick. More pressure on Newcastle. Another free kick for Barcelona, taken by Rivaldo, who's found De La Peña. Saric, De La Peña. Salades. the referee could have seen that, I'll never know. Yeah. Gillespie had his back to him. The linesman certainly didn't flag. Figo. Now Ketspire. Wants to run with it. And he's doing just that. Crowd are enjoying this. They can breathe again as well now. Oh, but he's given it away to De La Peña. Wants to get it back again, and does. Ronaldo. It's riveting stuff because you still have this feeling that Barcelona are in this game. Sergi. De La Peña. Gets it back again from Rivaldo. Tries to get him back again. And Philip Albert read that superbly. And then, more than that, has found a wonderful ball for Asprilla. But he's got nobody else in that half of the field to support him. Asprilla! Charged down in the end by Reisaga. This is amazing stuff.
That was incredible. Not another Newcastle player within 50 yards of him then.
Sergi, just over 5 minutes left now. Oh, he wants Shea Given to come out, and he hesitated for a moment. De La Peña. Nadal. The crowd are cheering to get behind Newcastle now, but Rivaldo's in there, but Watson gets it away.
It must have been the last half an hour's restored my belief that they are a decent side. I thought they were a very, very ordinary side prior to this last spell, but they're playing with something now.
Siric. And in goes Batty. Yes, it's something to come back from 3-0 down to put on this sort of performance. Still 3-1, they've still got an awful lot to do. Beresford gets it forward towards Asprilla. It's a Barcelona throw. It is, as the old-time writers used to put it, one-way traffic now. It's all going Barcelona's way. De La Peña at the hub of so much of it. But he didn't get a very good ball back from Dugarry then. And so it's Gillespie. Still with Gillespie. Asprilla's in the middle, but Gillespie decided... This time he tried himself.
I know it's difficult because the pressure's coming against him, but you just wish the lad could stay up the field all the while like this. He is like an express train tonight when he gets flying.
That's surely offside. Oh, emergency and very, very effective action from Shea Given. Ronaldo looked offside to me. The flag had stayed down, to be fair. Reisaga. A terrific game last night between Celtic and Liverpool, and one tonight really that's matched it here at St James's Park. Two blissful nights of European football, and still plenty more to come this season, you can be sure. Saladis. Reisaga. Bit long towards Dugarry. The big Frenchman wins it in the air. Don't want those celebrations to be a little too premature. Sergi. Well, they got plenty to shout about, that's true. De La Peña stabbing a little ball through again. But now Ketspire. Up to Asprilla. Oh, on he goes again. Ketspire. Asprilla also has taken up a good move. Ketspire spotted him but couldn't quite find him. Blocked by the huge form of Nadal.
Stays like this, Bry, obviously the Newcastle.
Well, here's Dugarry being chased by Watson. It's a corner given. Sorry.
So obviously the Newcastle leader is going to take all the plaudits for his hat-trick, but his general play's been brilliant.
Yes.
He's worked hard, he's been the target man. He's shown he's played for the team tonight tremendously well.
Well, another little pressure point here now for Newcastle United. It's This corner comes swinging in towards Nadal, gets it down, and off balance. Warren Barton gets it away, but it's another corner. Just over 2 minutes left. You can imagine what a finale we'd have if they score from this corner. So we're going to get that finale.
I mean, the lad's come out here given he's got all of it. He's had a stroke of luck, and Barton can only knock it into the path of Figo. Slams. On a luckier night, that would have hit a defender on the way out and been blocked. But he's gone through an absolute forest of defenders there.
But Figo has scored. 3-0 has become 3-2, and there's still a few seconds left on my watch. You can see it yourself there. With just over a minute left. It's important that Newcastle somehow stay secure. These are going to be nail-biting minutes now. Barton underneath this one, letting it go. Experience telling there. He won't rush for it. In fact, Figo's going to run to get the ball for Warren Barton. But the referee will add time on. He won't get away with it. And these are crucial times. Robert Lee. Can Barcelona possibly get a third? Will Newcastle hold on for this famous victory? Back it goes. Yes, here's Reisiger. Newcastle fans frantically whistling for the final one. That won't happen yet. Robert Lee, just get the ball away, and they have. They've got it to Asprilla, but that time his touch let him down. Ooh, problems here as well. Rivaldo. Everybody in Newcastle getting back. Oh. And Dugarry missed a real golden chance to make it 3-3, and he knows it. That was a great opportunity.
Well, you'd have bet your life on this. He's risen up. He's got all the goal to go at. Unfortunately for Newcastle, he's headed it wide.
And this is one of the most amazing European nights I've been to, I must say.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And to their credit, Barcelona have played a massive part in this second half.
Newcastle fans just want to hear that final whistle. They've had so much to cheer. They want Ketspire just to take that ball down to the corner flag. But he hasn't done it. Robert Lee, keep possession now. Albert, keep possession now. Batty, down that line. Beresford wants to get down there. Asprilla, just keep possession. Asprilla, that's a free kick. That's a little bit of respite. You can see we played a minute and a quarter of time added on. With one last heave, Newcastle will be there. But had Barcelona still got one last trick to play. It's with Asprilla. I think Beresford told him to go down in the corner. It's another free kick. The crowd just for a moment was silenced, thinking that was the last whistle, but it wasn't. It's another free kick to Newcastle. Coming up to 2 minutes of time added on. It's with Asprilla, jinking and bobbing and weaving and eating up a few more seconds, hoping he might get another free kick. Knocks it back to Beresford.